Welcome back, everybody, here to our deciding game for the D2CL lower bracket consolation final between LGD as well as Invictus Gaming to see who will be that team that will go up against VG Gaming. It's still a very hard slog if they want to get themselves through the grand final. Only one slot for the Chinese teams coming out. The D2CL Chinese qualified to come to the LAN finals, which will be in just a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so time. Let's get into it. I'm casting with an old classic of mine. It's like El Clasico caster style. Cinderin, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a pretty important game.
Yeah.
Team who loses this are out. The winners get to face VG Gaming in the grand finals. I mean, I guess it's immediately after this, right? So they barely even get a break.
There is no break at all.
It's going to be a long day.
There is no break.
It's going to be a long day for them. But we have a fundamentally different start to this game than the other ones, the other two we've seen today, because Bad Rider makes it through and gets overall first pick by LGD, and IG obviously willingly gave it away, and they traded for Brewmaster and Lion. So, did Brewmaster win both the previous games? He was on Naga's team last game, and in the first game he was on PA's team. So yeah, he did. He's 2-0 in the series, so seems to be a pretty important pick so far.
But the one
LGD chose to ban
which is hilariously enough not having a great run is the Sniper. Played by Burning in the first and played by Maybe in the second, and lost both of his games.
That's very true.
Maybe another reason why LGD are taking some time and not going to pick him up. In fact, they go for the Shadow Fiend pickup instead.
I still ban the Sniper though. I can't ignore that hero entirely, I think. But yeah, you're right. Sniper lost both games. I think the previous game he had a really good shot at winning if it wasn't for the fact that Naga's, just ruined the game for Sniper. Naga is a very difficult hero to play against a Sniper. It doesn't really play to Sniper's strengths. So I don't want to read too much into it. I also shouldn't read too much into the Brewmaster, but still, I mean, if it wins both games, the teams in this individual matchup are going to consider it a very important pick. And like you said, with Sniper losing both, that's why he goes through the first phase. They still don't ignore it entirely, but they will ban it out in the second phase. Now with Shadow Fiend Bad Rider as the opener for LGD, they've shown 2 cores, and this is something Invictus Gaming can take advantage of by banning out supports. They will, however, ban Lycan first. As they did ban Venge in the first phase, so that support is out of the picture. Lion has been picked by themselves, and AA will be banned by LGD. Maybe scared of that trial line you were talking about with Lion, AA, Luna here to come out from IG.
I don't know if you'd really want to try and run such a lane, though, when you're on the Radiant side. Like, I feel when you're on the Dire side, you can play a little bit more with the tree line on the side, but on the Dire, it gets a lot more cramped to function with the tri lane there. So
yeah, I could see that.
I'm not feeling it as much there, but when you get a Dream Protector, I'm already going to my second point up before I finish my first. When you get a Bristleback being picked up as well as a Brewmaster, if you get something like a Treant, you've got all the armor in the world. This will allow Ferrari to play the Brewmaster if he wants to. It could still go into the hands of Burning. But Luo with the offlane Bristleback, it's going to be very difficult for LGD Gaming to kill off one of these targets when they initiate.
Yeah, Bad Rider, however,
is... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Bad Rider is decent against living armor. I mean, Firefly does a lot of damage over time, so we'll remove these stacks pretty early. But for the very early laning stage, you're absolutely right. I don't think IG will grab the Treant, though. I think they have other plans. They might want to try to counterpick the Bad Rider a bit more with either getting something like a Shadow Demon or maybe the Silencer. I don't like Shadow Demon Lion as much as a support duo. They don't complement each other that well.
In this game, I'd almost prefer to see something more like a Disruptor.
Disruptor could be nice. Sand King too.
That way you get somewhere to lock him in with the Bristleback and the Brewmaster, and you disable and control with the Lion and the Disruptor is just crazy.
Yeah, it could be nice. I think that's a good pick so far. He's also pretty good against Shadow Fiend. Disruptor in general is a nice hero. Witch Doctor are going to be the pick for LGD, so they banned out the AA, and this opens up for healing potential. I don't think they mainly banned it to get the Ice Blast out of the way, but more to get the Chilling Touch early laning phase out of the way, that pressure, and then maybe they can be the aggressors here with Witch Doc plus maybe 1, but they banned Chen themselves, so you wouldn't think they want to run for a heal strat.
Unless that's just a respect ban up against Chuan.
Yeah,
like that.
It could be.
That could be all it really comes down to. Like I said that during game number 1, where IG the Chen dictates so much of the game because you're capable of just continuously pushing. It's not like this Shaman where you have to wait for your Master Serpent Wants to come off cooldown. As long as you can keep your army alive, which with the rework that happened to Chen months ago is so much easier now.
queen of...
And they go for the
quap again for Luo. Played a really good quap last game. They'll pull it out again. They might put this against Shadow Fiend. Brewmaster does not lane well against SF.
I'm almost waiting for the the signature hero switch that happened in game number 2, where Ferrari now takes up the bristleback and again avoids the Brewmaster and the quap.
I think they're putting quap mid.
I hope so.
Definitely the best choice. If it is SF mid, which we're gonna assume for now that LGD will be.
So we put quap mid. We put burning on Brewmaster, bristleback to the offlane in the hands of Luo. And then line +1.
Reserve time.
I think Luo plays Bristle. I'm pretty sure he plays Bristle. Oh, he definitely does. There's no way he doesn't play Bristle.
Do you want me to check his previous games? I can do that for
I'm
you.
confident I've seen it before.
I'm going to double check. What?
So what's LGD going to do? They're going to pick Shaker. So defensive, like this support duo is actually pretty hybrid. Both Witch Doctor and Shaker are great defensively, but can also work very well aggressively. Fissure and Cask, both in the right situations, can be really good aggressive tools. But I want to say more than anything, really good for resetting and regoing. So I'm expecting LGD to get a support here that is really worth protecting. Sorry, a carry that's worth protecting with these two defensive supports. Someone who really scales well with farm, and that's why IG are going to ban out Dusa. I think that's a great ban. Even though they have Mana Drain of Lion, she would have become a problem. And Dazzle removed from LGD. Great synergy with Bristleback.
Yeah, it would allow Invictus Gaming to play to run dual lanes. So you could leave the Bristle and the Dazzle on the off lane.
They could still do that with this guy.
Yeah, they can.
Or with an Io. I was thinking Io as the last pick for IG. Io Bristle's very powerful, but they're going to do it with Lich.
So we just rack up a lot of early armor coming in for IG and a lot of lane control also arriving from that. And 4 times in the last 7 days is how much Luo has played the Bristleback.
That's a lot.
With the most recent one being yesterday up against eHome.
Did they win that game?
They did win that game.
Oh, right.
10 seconds remaining.
So, 100% win rate.
5 seconds
Inserting completely inaccurate stats. Yeah. 100% win rate in their one game that they played.
Yeah. Well, it's the only sample size we have of whether they won or lost, so it's going to be 100%, right?
Yes. I can never call you a liar, Sind. Ever.
No.
You only speak the truth.
What would LGD get here? Morphling is out. He was my next choice. Drow is okay. Actually, Drow is pretty good, I think. Or you know what?
Let's go for the undead.
Let's plague it up.
And well, I suppose if you want one way to try and kill off the Bristleback, that's a beautiful way to do it. The stronger Bristleback gets, the better Necro's ulti will be able to be. That's horrible grammar.
I liked it.
As long as you like it, Sin, that's all that matters. But this Necro, with just the life, like Necro and Witch Doctor combined together, they got so much stayability. And then the Urshic is able to lock in these offlaners because you're still running a double melee, the Brewmaster and the Bristleback. So unless they've got Blink Daggers, which Bristleback's not going to get, you're able to use that fissure quite effectively during the fight.
10 seconds.
And it's not as though Lion and Lich are highly maneuverable until Lion gets a Blink Dagger, and Lich won't. So LGD Gaming, they can really play the positional game here.
Yeah, Necrophos is one of those really difficult heroes to play against, where it's like he's fairly weak early on, but when you get to the mid-late game... By the way, why is he wearing a lamp on his head? Alright, so anyway, when... Necrophos, I don't know, this is reminding me of a lamp somehow.
It's... you know those things you hang over the doors and... Like the bead doors things to keep the flies out?
I don't know. This looks interesting. I don't think I've seen this cosmetic before, so it caught me by surprise. Okay, anyway. When you're playing against Necrophos, he's fairly weak in lane, but then when it comes to the mid-late game, especially when he has Ags, he, like... Your general concept of how Dota works, this hero just breaks it with Egg Scepter. It's, for me, perhaps the most fundamentally imbalanced thing in the game is Necrophos Ags Ultimate. When it comes to late game, it just wins games for that reason. I'm not personally that big a fan of removing the buyback mechanic with a spell. So I guess I'm also biased against it. I just don't like it. But it's cool to have something extreme like that. But I feel like that's one of the mechanics that it's just very dangerous to change like his ultimate does with Ags. But that's why you really don't want to go super late game against Necros, because even if you have good late game, if you make one mistake, your hero's gone for 2 minutes and you can't do anything. Like you can lose 2 lanes of racks after you're 20k gold ahead, because say you have a single core PA, she dies to Necrol. Too bad. Too bad, buddy. You just lost. Okay.
As long as they can keep enough people alive to push enough to... Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, that's the risk you play when you go up against Necro. Because Necro, obviously the ulti is fantastic when you get to late game, but what happens in the meantime? Like your early game, you got some nice survivability, but it's also a hero who doesn't have a stun, who has no real control. He's got great lane presence, but as long as you can match that, you're fine. Which surprisingly they're not. Okay, yeah, no, they are. Lich is coming back up to the top lane. So they run Lich and Bristle on the top. Already MMY as well as Sylar are getting up in the face here of Luo. With the arrival of Faith, they'll back up a little bit more. Bottom lane's gonna be burning up against Batrider. So Brew on Bat. A little bit of support will be there from Chuan, who's the line. But Zhao Wei is on this roaming Earthshaker and heading down to the bottom lane to help out his Batrider. And that leaves the middle lane combination, maybe up against Ferrari. The SF versus the Quap. That basically wraps up our lanes.
Yeah, I think out of this laning situation, IG are probably going to have an advantage from the lanes. They have a dual lane with Lich. They get to run 2-1-2s that I think they actually can win all 3 lanes. The bottom lane's the trickier one. Ferrari is currently beating Maybe, as he should early on with Quap versus SF. He's got a pretty good lane position. Unfortunately for him, probably won't be able to hold the wave here entirely. Or maybe he will. Nah, this will be pushing. He can't stop this, but he's still got a very good head start against Maybe so far. Top lane, Lich plus anyone in a 2-on-2 lane generally has a good time. And of course he's going to be stacking the Ancients as well for Bristle later on. And then bottom lane, Brew Lion against Shaker Bat. What's the score right now on that lane? Bat has 2-0 and Brew has 6-2, so I want to say IG are winning all 3 lanes. They're not out farming the Necrophos top, but they will when Bristle gets the stack.
Nice little battle between Chuan as well as Zhao Wei. Zhao Wei throws the Fissure, Chuan throws the Earth Spike, and they both battle for the Regeneration Rune.
Well, Chuan got it.
Yep.
And that's going to be the last clarity out of Zhao Wei.
I was actually worried too, because like when you said, oh, he burning's in front of the CS, I'm like, well, that's because he's committing Clamp to find the last hits, because he can't just do it with a sticky napalm on him. But with a stick charge already up and running, okay, Chuan, that's problematic right there. Burning needs to go for the Clap, but Chuan, he's inside the fire, he's going to miss the stun completely. Gets the Hex instead over on Yao, but first blood still spilt. The Earthshaker, Zhao Wei will be the man to claim it. LGD.
Very nice initiation angle from Yao, finding out the Lion here, and Chuan, like you said, a little bit of misplay.
He did something weird though, like he came out through the tree line, took the aggro of the creep wave, and then drive the creep wave over. Then all he really had to do was throw a sticky napalm. The turn rate was way too slow, and he gets stuck to the trees as he tries to walk through them.
Well, a little bit of a mistake from Chuan. Does give a first blood over here, and like you said, it goes to Shaker. I think that's maybe better than Bat getting it. That's the boots for Zhao Wei that he really needs. Shaker is one of those supports that can do with very little goal. It's like he's a special design in the sense that this hero, in theory, doesn't really need anything apart from a Blink Dagger and any source of mana. Like a Soul Ring or Arcane Boots is enough. But in the super early game, he's fine playing the first, even the first 20 minutes with boots only. But at some point, you're going to want the Blink. And getting into the boots faster like this, which Zhao Wei is doing, is a good head start at getting his mana item.
Just once he's got that, then the rest of his team are going to be happy chappies. I'm interested to see when MMY is going to be using this smoke, which he purchased very, very early on. If he's intending on teaming up with Earthshaker, who's doing the stacks for his teammates at the moment. Actually ended up failing that one with the Wild Wings.
Man, SF is getting run over, though.
Wow, you're right.
This is a Quap favored lane, but Ferrari is destroying maybe completely. 21-15 against 7-1.
Hey,
we talk about
Run away.
The
The Fissure's in nice position and Fate's in a really bad spot. He'll end up dying here, so LGD will take a secondary kill. This one will go to the Batrider and not to Zhao 8. And with Batrider's Firefly, you can just walk away. In fact, well, do they want to? Now burning. Zhao 8 left behind to die. So it'll end up being a 1-1 trade-off. But I think LGD is still happy with that, considering they did have the line pick up the haste rune. So it would be very possible to get away.
Yeah, the rune did go to IG, so getting a kill there is fine. They, however, also committed, I want to say they committed more in the rotation in a way for LGD, or maybe it was actually just flat out even. But the thing is, as long as those rotations and trade-offs are even, and Ferrari is just destroying Shadow Fiend, IG are winning this laning stage. They have to stack more for the SF than they have. Maybe currently has one, let's see, that's one double stack plus, that's actually all there is for him. And he's level 4, so he can't even farm it yet. Ferrari is almost level, he's 6.5 against the Shadow Fiend who isn't even level 5. So he can't stand in the lane. And the rotations for ganks are very difficult for LGD to perform since their supports are not that good at ganking a quap. Fissure doesn't really work that well, neither does Cask. And now IG are actually even going to go and block the camp. This is like the ultimate thorn in the side of the Shadow Fiend. This is his recovery. If he doesn't even get this recovery, he's pretty screwed actually for the next 5 minutes.
They're waiting to kill him. They want to make sure there's like they cripple both of his legs.
Oh, they're gonna steal it with Bristle. That's even worse.
Welcome to level 6 for Bristleback. Also,
yeah, and he still has his own stack remaining.
It's very wait. They're actually backing up so he can get level 6.
Yep.
I almost wish that Faith stuck around for that, because he's so underleveled at this point.
Yeah, what are the levels in LGD? 4 on Witchdog, 2 on Shaker though, so it's a slight win for XP on LGD supports here. Question is if they can convert it into anything meaningful. This Witch Doctor will probably get a pretty fast level 6, but not really the best Witch Doctor ulti game either, right? You're against a Bristleback, it doesn't do too much to him. Bruce Split doesn't care about it, and Quap can always blink it, so he's not your ideal high-level support for this matchup.
Just watching this middle. Chuan came down, stunned up over on Zhao 8, and Zhao 8 instantly asked for TP support because he realized the Queen of Pain is over level 6, which means you're dealing with a Sonic Wave, or potentially dealing with a Sonic Wave, and that burst damage would be enough for Ferrari to get the kill and get straight back out again. The only reason why he didn't jump underneath the tier 1 tower is because maybe he was there. He'd have to jump past the tower in order to stay alive and get the kill.
So what are we looking at for LGD right now? The Necrophos is keeping up nicely. LGD's Salar in the safe lane getting the good farm. Shadow Fiend, like we said, was far behind. He's starting to get something. Now he can raise the wave a little bit easier. He's sitting on 22 against about the 40 of Ferrari. Then the offlane Batrider, 13 for nil against 28 on the Bristle. So, as I was talking about earlier, I think IG can win all 3 lanes, and in my opinion they have. Salar is still ahead on gold over the Bristle, but there's still a triple stack Ancients that Bristle can take, and that's like 1,000 gold, and then he's suddenly ahead.
Yep.
So LGD probably need to go and find this stack and either try to farm it themselves, which I think is impossible, or try to take a fight there. Get vision and secure it. It's a really big deal getting all that gold over. Yao looking for the bottom, but Tron's actually there with the regen, so he's casting for free. It's annoying him here.
I don't see a way LGD can farm up Ancient stacks. Like, they can farm up normal stacks with Razors, but up against the Ancients, they don't really have anything to work with.
No.
I think maybe he's realized the camp's been blocked up. Well, the fact he pinged it out, but look where the 2 sentry wards are from LGD. They're looking further down here.
I think one of them wanted to counter ward the cliff, and the other one might be looking for the blocking ward, but it's not there. And now maybe he's in a really bad position here. Oh, they're TPing in the Shaker. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they had the sentry there, actually. I don't think that was the purpose of this ward. It was placed like 2 minutes ago, but ends up actually saving Shadow Fiend from a gank, so that's a nice multi-purpose ward there.
I don't know if he would have just died to that, though. With 4-point Scream as well as 1-point Sonic Wave, was that really enough damage? Because there's no other support there. Burning wasn't ready. He wasn't in position. Now he does have help. Faith as well as Burning are going to smoke up.
Well, what he could have done was opening with Shadow Strike, because he was invis, right? So he could have gone in melee range with Shadow Fiend, open with Shadow Strike, Green Sonic, and then hit him a couple times. And then he would have got the kill, for sure. But the sentry keeps him alive. Shaker comes in and Ferrari doesn't go for it. But regardless, even if he doesn't get that kill, there's one place Shadow Fiend isn't, and that's in the lane. It's not farming.
Bottom lane's having some fun. Chuan with the Hex. He's stopping Yao from getting that last 2 off on him. He's going to get it off now, but the Firefly has almost expended its entire duration. Chuan just finds the remainder of his Tranquil Boost before death. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Faye's been hit pretty hard. And they're going after that Witch Doctor. He let the Malediction off, which is why Faye's taking so much damage too. And with the Brewmaster split, they end up getting a couple. Both the Necro plus the Witch Doctor will end up dropping. As Ferrari was looking to force the issue up against Zhao Wei, and here he goes. Sonic Wave's available, but he's not going to do it. He holds.
It's not going to be enough for the kill. He'll get the bottom rune though. Invis as burning ports down. No towers being claimed here actually.
It's all about the kills.
Not even much damage being done, so I think LGD wanted to try to trade a little bit bottom. They got about half a tower. But the Brewmaster gang top together with Lich and Bristol barely even did damage to the tower. That's usually what you want to do with Brew early, is that collateral, that you get the kill and then the tower. But looks like mid-tier 1, as a matter of fact, will be the first one IG claim, as Ferrari has just been laying it onto Maybe here. Nice deny by Maybe, though.
He's got all of his souls up. He's got a large amount of damage, so getting denies like that up against a hero like Queen of Pain with not that much base damage works easy. Still looking down at that bottom lane with Burning, just farming till his heart's absolutely content, pushing into tier 1 towers. Initiating for LGD is almost impossible because what you got Fissure and Paralyzing Cast currently on the lane, but the Necro is not ready to fight. This is almost one of those games where you look at Sylar thinking maybe it'd be a good idea to use that Scythe of his in order to use it more like a stun. Like get an early Blink Dagger, jump in and use it for control so the SF and Batrider can do the damage. Is that almost worth it?
I don't know, I think he's definitely, I wouldn't say get Ags first, right? He's gonna get, what's that? That's the Blink on Bat. You were talking about Necrophos, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so...
this is also assuming that the Shadow Fiend's gonna be building the mech instead.
Yeah, I think Sylar's gonna need some form of, yeah, goodbye. He's gonna need some form of mobility. The Scythe is a nice choice, but I think it's too greedy of a build-up. They're gonna need a smaller item that does something early. An item like, this is one of the few heroes, I'm not a fan of Rod of Atos, but this is one of the heroes that it can actually be pretty nice on. The tankiness is very good, the int is nice for keeping the mana for your spells, and it's going to make it very easy for Shadow Fiend to hit raise combos. It's going to be easier for Shaker to land good fissures and for Bat to initiate.
Yeah, it's fight time. Jump up by Burning, clap, split, Sylar going to get controlled. Sonic Wave hits hard onto 3 players from LGD. The buyback came instantly out from the Necros. He wants to come back into this fight. Yao now going to be sent up by that Earth Ruling. More support arriving from Luo. A double kill for Ferrari. He wants to back up until this Malediction has run its course. Now the Lich Ulti also comes in for Faith. Bouncing up to Sylar. He's got a creep right next to him. He got isolated forward. It's a dieback for LGD. Zhao went back in range to the tower. Ferrari will kill him off. It was a DD for the entire time. An ultra kill for Ferrari. And Invictus Gaming, you thought they won the laning before. They basically just won the war against LGD.
That was a 6-for-0 fight right there. Plus tier 1 tower. That's just really good control of the Brewmaster by Burning in that fight. Gets a good Cyclone on the Batrider immediately after the lasso. And the Sonic Wave from Ferrari, like you said, I think it even hit 4 targets. It at least hit 3.
It got the 2 supports at the back.
Yeah, it might have hit the bat in the front too, actually, or with like the cone shape. But regardless, like no matter how many it hit enough.
Yep.
And then the Chain Frost from Faith gets the Necro and
Bristol. That was probably one of the saddest things, though. Like the fact that Necro, you come back and then you've got 1 creep that's standing next to you that killed you. Like that's how he died.
He had 2 lives and didn't get to use ult. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was saying Sylar could try for... Well, he's going to go for the mech, it looks like. It's just going to be a pretty late mech, but at this rate, it's probably the best choice now, so that they at least stand a chance at fighting. Shadow Fiend is going for a BKB first item, so that he can do stuff, but even then, he's still going to be a little bit in trouble. Bristleback, lots of physical damage, the Sonic Wave that goes through it, and even Bruce Split can actually... At this stage in the game, is decent against BKB. Like, you still deal some pretty good damage. Oh, Sylar, not a... Oh!
Aha!
That was a Necrophos there, that blood pool. He died literally 1 second.
That's just screaming from the finger.
10,000 gold minute 14. This is a really, really a stompy early game. I like to say 1,000 gold per minute. Before minute 20 is like an absolute stomp, and we're approaching it for IG. This LGD are going to have to pull off some really, really solid mid game here to have a chance.
Yeah, like actually more than solid, because they need catch up. Like they can't even fight in the mid game until the Shadow Fiends had time to find farm, find stacks. I don't know if they can. If maybe Roshan is their key to victory. If they're able to take that one out, like they're stacking up their ancients, but it'll take a while for them to kite and farm this. They know farm is their only way back into this. Critical items, get the BKB up and running, finish that mech over on Sylar. You got the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider, so that's more of a positional thing, which means vision is critical for that. That's the way LGD can try and push back into this. But you've got a mech, you've got now a Sanj over on Luo, so he's got a large amount of HP to battle through. Even Queen of Pain with this Orchid. So even
he's in a really good position if they could set him up, but they can't. He at least breaks the smoke.
Instantly.
Is Sentry too late?
Yep.
I'm gonna maybe try for another one here, Faith. They're still just running into them. They don't care.
Oh, why should you? You've got your full mech up. Everyone's got
are they gonna farm another stack? This is like, okay, so Luo in this game so far has farmed the enemy big stack, he's farmed his own ancient stack, and he's now farming the enemy ancient stack. It looks like LGD want this to happen. They want to take a fight here. And if Luo's on half health when it starts, they might have a shot here.
Oh, there's the lasso. Can he get the mech off?
Nice
Does he have time for it? Another scythe. It's going to drop 75 seconds on the sideline. Was this next level bait? Was this, here's a whole bunch of money, come and farm it. Haha.
I actually think he farmed the majority of the ancients. Oh my god, triple clap from Burning.
Yep, and then into the split too. The Sonic Wave from Ferrari! Again hitting so hard, maybe he got orchided up. There's nothing he could do in this fight. No Requiems, no Razors. MMY is trying to stay alive here, but he's not quite sure if he should turn around because Sylar's in a world of hurt. He's going to get Frost Blasted down, but it's the Queen of Pain who gets the kill. While up into the air again, that Brewmaster split from Burning. It's worked so much of overtime. Ferrari's now going to go on Zhao Wei. I almost feel that this game is almost over at the moment with a double kill in for Ferrari. It's an 8-0-3 Queen of Pain. They're killing him underneath their tier 2 towers after they lost the Bristleback for no real trade-off in damage. But every single time, Ferrari, he is hitting the hole 100% of the time.
Yeah, these Sonic Waves have been really, really good. But that fight, getting a triple clap from Brewmaster just sets him up so perfectly. They're Burning with the initiation just on point. He actually even got unlucky with his Primal Split. So he used Split and the Fire Spirit got stuck beneath. It was behind a fissure. It didn't split atop the cliff, but below it, it still didn't matter. Like, their damage output is way too high. They're gonna get even more items flowing in now, and the only thing that went bad for them that fight was that Luo died, but I think while he died, his Bristleback procced like 2 or 3 times, and he actually killed the Ancients with it. The majority of them is now maybe is gonna be certainly dead.
Yep. Nothing much is really gonna stop that. Hilarious thing is, at least got to cast one ability. He cast more abilities during that 4-on-1 fight than he did during the last team fight. Because Ferrari just controls him, and Sylar's now also potentially going to die. With Orchid, Scream, he just TP's out. Ferrari will take the rune, and Sylar bails.
He is really poor on that Necro. He was their safe lane farmer, right? We saw in the start that he was on par with the big farmers on IG. He is now 3rd on his team. He died 5 times and bought back once, and he's cast 1 ultimate to show for it in the entire game. It's really difficult to play Necrophos in this game, I think. The early game had to go better on the other lanes, but LGD with their draft they put themselves under pressure, and they didn't help maybe enough, I feel, in the early game. They let him get dominated by Ferrari, and the trade-off they got wasn't really that good.
With the way Ferrari's been playing of late, even if you feel the matchup is even, which, like you already said before, like Queen of Pain, it's an advantage for her at the very, very start. But with Ferrari, the way he's been playing, you have to lend assistance. There's just no choice. This guy's playing... Ferrari has stepped up his game just in the last couple of weeks. It's really helping IG to get...
He might be the best mid lane player right now, lane-wise. Just raw lane play, he is exceptionally good right now.
And the funny thing is, like, it's not just coming with support from IG. In fact, most of the time when IG been playing, it's more of the 8, 9, 10 minutes when the supports rotate in. They bring either the jungler of Chuan, or they bring in like a dual roam gank. They don't give him a lot of help in the early stages unless he's up against like a dual lane or something like that. Then they have a look at it. But most of the rest of the time, it's just let him do his thing.
There is finally a mech. Minute 20 for the safe lane Necrophos. It's really not been Sylar's game, this one.
This is one of those games where you almost wish he had a hand of Midas.
Yeah, then he would have had a hand of Midas right now.
Yeah, and had nothing else.
So, I don't know. No, he had a great showing in game number 1 on the PA, but this game is just, it's a lot harder, and he has way less space to move and play his hero in. And well, it's slowing down right now, where LGD are just looking for pickoffs. They might find Chuan here in the bot lane. Actually, no. They didn't see him, and now they'll see him.
They're worried. They're worried. They feel his bait. Blink, lasso. Chuan's going to be dragged back, but now Luo reveals himself. MMY just turns on the ultimate. They get the kill, and the mech from Luo keeps him up. So the Witch Doctor will drop, and the LGD gank backfires badly with a surprise bristle.
I don't know what to do for LGD at this point in the game. It's kind of, they've lost. It's kind of like the last game with the Naga Siren, where you just feel like one team has complete map control and is inevitably going to be able to push high ground. But this time around, LGD in this game have a chance late game, I feel. But it needs to be IG making a crucial mistake first, so LGD get a lot of gold, and then maybe. But pushing high ground against LGD is actually difficult, so that's going to be their last bastion. They will be giving up their remaining tier 2s. They should not be fighting for them at this deficit, but when it comes to high ground, Bat Rider, Shaker, Witch Doctor, all 3 of those are actually really good defensive heroes, and any misstep from IG can get them caught out by the Bat, and then just one kill at a time for LGD. They're going to be worth like 2,000 gold each soon. So
Radiant's
I actually might want to be a little bit cautious about pushing up. Luo needs to pick up that 22-minute room before he's got a chance to go anywhere. The downside about Bristleback walking around with this mech, like, I was actually thinking I should say, like, how does IG even make a mistake? I'm looking around going, well, you're not going to kill Ferrari. He's got BKB Aegis as well as frickin' Orchid. So if he dies, then it really is a huge mistake. And Burning's got a Vladimir's, a Blink, Strength Treads, and Split, so he shouldn't die either. Luo's the only one that could potentially get caught out with a mistake, and only because he'd be caught out of mana.
Oh, Bat. Whoa, 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 oh, Burning.
Burning.
He's actually going to be standing in the fire. Very fitting. How long's left on that Firefly? Well, I shouldn't be able to kill him from full HP anyway.
Yeah, I was just wondering how long they could hold him there and keep the Blink Dagger on cooldown, but it wore off before the cooldown of the Blink Dagger was done. Yeah. But Bristleback's still doesn't actually have enough mana. He's got 3 bottle charges up his sleeve.
What does he buy now? I think there's an item he could buy here that would be really good for multi-purpose. That's not that common in Bristle, but it's also not like the first time it gets bought. I think a Yule Scepter would actually be really nice for Luo. It's a counterplay to Bat Rider's Lasso when he engages. It solves all of his mana problems, and it gives him extra movement speed, so he can very quickly get in the fight. His mana pool right now, I feel like, is actually not necessarily sufficient. If he engages the fight with full mana, maybe. Actually, then he has 700 plus Tread Switch and a bottle. But bottling mid-fight is very difficult against the Dire lineup.
Yeah.
Yules could still be a cool choice against Bat. Alternatively, he just tanks up entirely and gets like something like a Cuirass or a Heart, so he can't really die anymore.
Yeah, I was watching IG so closely. There was a couple of pings coming out, and I wasn't quite sure if that was LGD asking to initiate onto the Bristleback, which was only the illusion that was running forward. Now that would have been the sadder thing, to lasso the illusion thinking you're going to get the advantage at the start of the fight. But they let it go. Bristleback will push the lane. There's only one tier 2 tower remaining on the top lane. That appears where IG is headed to next. Aggressive ward behind it, take the tower. If potentially they can catch out, in fact they will. You've got mech, there's no TP, so Salo won't be able to escape the way he did before. So Orchid, Scream, work the Sonic Wave here to ensure the kill, and they're going to take him as well, with the Finger of Death as well. was the only way they're going to get the kill. They didn't have enough damage to do it.
I don't think they needed the Sonic, actually. They needed to use Sonic or Finger, because they had the Orchid still. The Orchid damage was going to pop as well.
Oh, yeah.
And he used mech already, but still, I mean, style points for just completely blowing him up, I guess.
Send a message.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
they
still
also
a
want to end
long
this
cooldown
quickly.
ultimate, right?
Remember, if they want to win this, they got to win 4. They got to win 3 games up against VG Gaming, and so that's potentially 4 games you have to play more on top of this best of 3.
Yeah.
And I say 4 because in case people have only just tuned in, we have the grand final coming up next. The winner of this series plays up against VG Gaming, but VG Gaming do have a 1-game advantage because they came directly through the upper bracket.
Radiant structures are
Hilariously enough, through LGD.
I think this tournament and Star Ladder are the last remaining tournaments that still use winner bracket advantage, right? I feel like that's being phased out by most tournaments.
Well, it's hard to use groups like ESL as an example because they hate double elimination. So
yeah, that's not really. Yeah, you can't really use that as an example.
Yeah.
They don't have an advantage in the finals either, with single elim, obviously.
What else?
So there's, I feel like these are the last remaining tournaments, and it used to be the norm. If you go back a few years, we used to have a lot of tournaments that in the grand finals it was 1-0 for the winner bracket team, but it's kind of, there's been some arguments made as to why
it takes away from the hype.
Sides.
For now, we just jump in. Burning, great clap, into the split. Yeah, drops like a sack of potatoes. Now, Lich ultimate. It's carving LGD up. They've just lost 3. They're about to lose 4. Ferrari's got Scream. Doesn't have his Orchid up and round. In fact, he's just going for the Shadow Strike to slow down Xiaowei. There's the blink to Scream. There's a double kill for Ferrari. He's 11-0-5 with a almost 15k net worth 26 minutes in. Oh, yeah.
This game is like mega over right now.
so we could just talk about the point before. It takes away from the hype of the grand finals. Because when you have like a best of 3 grand final, you get a 1-game advantage. It's like, oh, that game was over in 1. What a final. That's memorable right there. It's like, no. No way. If it's a best of 5, it can also be done in 2.
Yeah, there's arguments being made for both sides that, well, you went through the winners bracket, so you should have an advantage. The other thing is, well, some people argue that going through the winners bracket is, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Chuan.
One pickup, but he's not fast enough. He didn't have a force up for the side. Oh, it doesn't drop him. The mech charge from Luo was able to get there in time, so at least Luo can save him from the scythe death.
Oh, well.
And now I think he wants to try and fight this. You got a couple of cool sprays up, and LGD realized they do not want to keep getting stacked like that.
Yeah, IG just gonna reset. So, yeah, where were we? So, as far as the winner bracket advantage goes, some people argue that it's an advantage already going through the winners bracket, so you have to play less games, and you're like less stressed out, and you have more time to study your opponents in the games they have to play, and that's an advantage in itself.
Yep.
Some say that's no real advantage, so you need to have like a game advantage or something like that.
You ask a player at the end of tonight if they're playing all the way to the end of their 7th game, and ask, are you feeling tired or more tired than the other team? The answer is going to be yes. That was an advantage which they had.
But that's if you have both games on the
on the same day.
On the same day, right?
Yeah.
But if there's a day between, you can argue that fatigue is less of a factor.
Correct.
I mean, there's arguments to be made for both sides, but it's an interesting discussion actually that's been had multiple times.
Each to their own, really. Each to their own. Or whatever the teams dictate that we should do. Players union. Here comes your push up mid. So LGD, they're 1 player down as far as the buybacks go. Necro does actually have it. He's going to use it. Blink, lasso. They managed to drag Lure, but look at Burning. So deep in. He's able to get the split up, but the Death Ward did some level of work until finally the stun was able to arrive. Maybe got his Requiem assaults up, but Ferrari just doesn't care. He just stays around, tanks it up, blinks himself away. He's not too healthy. In fact, they did end up losing the Bristol back, and the Lich will buy back. That's the last Bruling. He's only got 1 second left on it, and there's not enough damage coming in from LGD to bring it down in time. So LGD are down an SF, and all of IG, well, they're trying to win this with their money. They bought back in both Bristle as well as Lich, but you had the buyback of the Witch Doctor, as well as the Necro as well from LGD.
It's funny, like, there's a team fight where both sides buy back, and the Dire gain 2,500 gold. That's when you're this far behind. Then any somewhat even fight is going to favor you in terms of golden experience. So LGD got something out of that. They're going to need to do it again That's the problem. There's a Roshan now. They can't contest it.
They checked it, but Burning blinked in and then left 5 seconds before Roshan spawned. But it may not matter, because they've already gone for Sylar. Finger of Death.
Nice
He's actually force-stopped up, able to get the mech charge off. And with the Malediction on Burning, he's going to be careful, but Luo doesn't care. He's just charging in with his BKB. The Lich Hold is going to arrive. The Scythe couldn't stop him from getting the last attacks in. So the Necro is down, the Wish Doctor as well. They can at least hold Luo in range of these tier 4 towers, but Ferrari with that Skadi, they just can't run away, but Ferrari's going to die into the tier 4 towers.
Well,
maybe just a little bit too deep.
From Xiaowei. They got 2 kills because of that fissure. It went right in the middle of Queen of Pain and Bristle. Bristle died to the tier 4 tower, and then Quap died to the tier 4 tower. So that's a really good hold from LGD. Look at that gold they just got from that. I can't see the... Oh, there's the fight recap.
Yeah, I don't know what was... I was waiting for it to appear. It took like 5 hours to appear.
2,000 gold, 3,000 experience. Well, just do it a couple more times, I guess, then...
1,400 gold each for the Earthshaker and the Shadow Fiend. Yeah.
That was also super aggressive from Luo, though. Like, he dove in between the tier 4s. They didn't have Primal Split. They could have taken Roshan, which they obviously didn't know was up. And I think Ferrari in that fight might have not even used his BKB either. If he did, it expired at least. So that was a little bit clumsy. There's some room for error here for IG, though. They need to be a little bit careful. Because LGD, like I said, their high ground defense, we're seeing it here. Shaker, Batrider, and Witch Doctor in the base are actually really good. So even with a big lead like IG have, they can still miss up.
Also flag the fact with these two heroes down, Roshan's open. And you see maybe he's picked up the Eagle Song. So I think they want to try and pop themselves in, take Roshan if they can do so before the Bristleback's back into position. Actually, no, they can't. They don't have time for this. There's no way they can do it. Especially when the SF's not at max souls.
Oh, if this fight's going to break out, this is probably bad news for LGD.
Is Burning going to jump up? The Observers and Sentries are down for LGD.
Really good position.
With the high ground their way, maybe. Throws out a raise, which is going to flag to Chuan. Then they're up there and he jumps up. Gets the stun. It's over on the Batrider, but the Fisher. Maybe he's going to buy some space until Burning jumps in with the BKB. Ferrari with a Sonic Wave. They mop up too. Batrider bought back and maybe just wind it up and obliterates the Lich. Unfortunately, his fun's going to end right there. Ferrari, even with the Malediction on him, he will not be dying. They've lost 3 players. Roshan's exposed now for IG, with LGD in no position to contest this. And they bought back in the Batrider, so that was a 4-for-1 trade-off.
And the fight recap, yeah, that's about a 4,000 gold swing right there.
It's going to be more with Roshan.
So that's all that IG just lost. They got it back, and they got a Roche, they got Aegis.
There's an Observer up on top of the hill here. They can see Yao, so if they want to jump, there's your Orchid. Surprisingly enough, Burning didn't jump up. I don't know if he got attacked at the last moment. But it stopped his engagement.
And it's funny to see how far LGD are behind, but how much gold Xiao 8 has. He has a Blink, double Bracer, and 2,000 gold. That's just that fight in the base that they won before, where he got a lot of that gold. And he's still, well, he's level 13 as well. So, I mean, a big Echo Slam, it is still theoretically possible, but with all the BKBs on the Radiant, if they just pop the BKBs correctly, they can get a lane of racks off that alone. They could just go mid, use split, use their BKBs and hit the buildings probably. And if they just spread out well enough, they won't be caught out. Still, it is possible. They've done it before, LGD.
And anything is possible, man. Rubber band it. Just bounce it.
And LGD are an exceptionally good team at fighting high ground. That was one of their strengths during DAC. They had games where they got really far behind, but their high ground defense with heroes like Void and Medusa was amazing. But in this game, their Medusa got banned out, and Sylar had to go for an alternative that I think he wasn't as happy with, but that's what they decided for him.
Well, if IG jump like they did before, like deep underneath the tier 4 towers, and for once Necro's ulti works, as in gets the kill. Cause I think to this point he's only killed 1 person with the Scythe. And that was more around the 10-15 minute mark that ended up happening. So he's not finding this bonus time up against IG. The second time where he almost got it, the Bristleback ended up arriving with a mech charge, which denied him the kill. They need to get some breathing room. Because at least they're not going up against Naga Siren. The IG lineup is going to have problems going into the later portion of the game, because their split push isn't really as strong. Their ability to force up to high ground up against Razors, Firefly, Cask, all this kind of jazz is nowhere near as easy. They have to rely on their tankability and their engagement now. Like that initiation through Sonic Wave, the Blink Clap split, the Lion getting the perfect Hex. These things are going to start to drop off in time. And with Zhao Wei having a Blink Dagger, the counter initiation with the Echo Slam is quite scary for IG. And they gave him the chance to do it because they fed those 2 kills over. Because the Shadow Fiend's getting to a point too where he's going to finish his Butterfly shortly. And what physical damage do you have directly going into the Shadow Fiend? Like, are you going to get a Monkey King Bar over on the Bristleback? Do you just try and find a Scythe on the quad? It looks like she's going for a Shivas.
I actually think MKB and Bristle wouldn't be half bad here. He's tanky enough as it is right now. 25 armor with Lich's Ice Armor. He has a mech, BKB, and SNY. So I think MKB is definitely a choice. They could also get an MKB on the Quap, but looks like she's getting a Shiva's Guard. So I mean, it's still, even if Shadow Fiend gets strong, he doesn't hit hard enough yet. And what they can just do is they can control him, or even if he's in BKB, just kill the other heroes. I still think IG are so far ahead that their tank ability is... He's going to need like a Daedalus before he starts becoming a real threat with the right clicks, and that is still very far off.
Where are you off to, Witch Doctor? He's got an Observer Ward, but if he's going to plant this right on top of the other ward, which is already down for the Radiant side. So IG know exactly where LGD have vision. But LGD, they've got themselves a smoke, which they have been moving together, like it looks like they want to use it. But waiting is not going to win this game for them. Like, it's fine if you can keep up with the item progression and you go neck and neck with your farm when the creep waves reach the base. But right now, they're so far away from all the waves, they're not really achieving anything.
They can't really farm.
Yeah, and they can't really fight because they're going to find into what, Nagus the Immortal on a Bristleback? It's death, really.
Yeah, this is Shivas for Rory, and Burning, I think, does have his Cuirass. It's in base, though. With those two items.
He's got the plate, yeah, the plate mail and the chainmail on the courier.
And the recipe in base, and he has the Hyperstone on himself. So he should, it's done. Yeah, it's just a matter of time before IG goes for this. And it's going to take a miracle from LGD, but I have seen them perform miracles in their base, so it is doable, but...
While LGD
I
are
feel like even
having
saying
a
5%
smoko
is an
inside their
overstatement.
break, nothing is really possible for them. They can't stick in here forever. They have to attempt something.
Yeah, they're getting out farmed by, I think, 500 to 1,000 gold per minute right now by the Radiant team.
Yeah.
Just in raw lane farm and jungle. And if they're not even moving out on the map, like you said, they're just gonna... The advantage is gonna be so big that IG can actually make like 3 or 4 mistakes in the fight and still win it.
Yep. Because they'll just end up buying back and TPing to that tier 1 tower that's still standing in mid. Come and rejoin the fight. Like, you don't even need to have BTs on this lineup.
Oh,
like
MMY.
Tier 1, and they caught MMY. Is there enough damage or they forced half him up on top of the hill? So the Witch Doctor is down. Should probably bring up that buyback menu. He doesn't have
they
buyback.
Might be going mid with this, actually. They know where the entirety of LGD is, and that it's 5-on-4, so they could try for it. They can also wait for the next Roche, which is in like at least 3 minutes.
At least.
So it's like 3 to 6, but I mean, they could do whatever they want, right? That's the whole point. Just look at the gold graph. This is, if you look at until this kill they just found in MMY, how much gold per minute they've been gaining with 0 objectives or kills taken. That's just raw lane farm. That's absurd. How much they're out farming LGD right now.
Because they're taking everything. They're taking Dire Jungle, they're taking all the creep waves, taking Radiant Jungle, and they're able to space themselves out and have such a sporadic team line because LGD aren't moving out. And they can see when they do because they have the Observer wards down. So unless LGD commit themselves together for a smoke, which it looks like they're going to do now, there's no other way they can get an advantage. So they can't keep playing this waiting game. All this is doing is basically... I almost want to feel like the teacher in school. It's your own time you're wasting.
Yeah, I feel like LGD are waiting too long as well. You've got to make a play now. I understand that they feel like they have a better chance of high ground, and of course they do. They have a way better chance on high ground, but that chance is diminishing with every minute. Like, they're just... This gold graph it's not going to stop.
They almost have to do what they did before. Actually, was it LG that did that in the last game? The double smoke move? You run all the way down.
Yeah, they did.
You can't find... Was that IG?
I can't remember.
But yeah, I honestly can't remember which team it was. I just remember the smoke move itself. But that's almost what they have to commit. Run yourself down. You don't find anyone down there. The box has been drawn out by IG, in fact, saying, I think LGD are down there until they see maybe. And he's not there. He's in bottom lane. So if they smoke out, they check one area because you're blind as a bat. You don't have any vision at all. So your only choice is to guess. Have a really good guesstimation of where IG is. Come out in the smoke. Try and move up while you hold the high ground. Unlike previous fights. That's the only way they have a chance to win this. Because if they just sit back and they keep farming up, like it's almost 40k experience advantage. They're going almost 1k a minute, IG. Because LGD have just stopped.
Yeah, we're reaching the point where the Lion has level 16 and Aghanim Scepter. The Lich has, okay, a 4-staff. That was underwhelming. I thought he was going to have a little bit more than that. All of the other heroes are ridiculously big for the time.
That Bristleback's got enough money for a full heart.
Double damage.
So
what's the GPM on Ferrari? 627 on a quad. That's really high.
His experience per minute's even higher than that. He's almost reaching 700. Well, here's the smoke time. It looks like IG is sick of waiting. They know LGD don't have any vision out here, so they just smoke in the middle of the river, and they're looking to come up through mid. Now, LGD haven't exposed themselves in a very, very long time, because it's just defense as usual. But can they see Yao? Nope. Even when they come close. Alright, so they just de-ward. that was the one of the most unimpressive smokes I've seen in a while.
So I think what LGD did was they were down there and they counter-warded that ward. I can't remember if they smoked out for it or not. And IGC, they lose their ward, so they're like, okay, we want this control of the map back, we just smoke down there and take it over again. I mean, ultimately you can be like as a spectator, why aren't they just pushing? This is boring. They're really far ahead, why don't they end the game? It's LGD losing this game. It's the team that's not pushing that's playing the best right now. If anything, LGD are the team that need to try to make a move. And them just staying in the base and turtling is actually the worst play. It's way better what IG is doing. And they're playing to win, right? You can be like, boring, go push. But, well, if the losing team don't want to come outside their base,
well,
why care? Why would you care?
They know.
Just get rich, right?
Like, they're not falling behind by sitting outside. They're still finding their farm, they're still finding the items. And in a timing world, LGD aren't advancing themselves forward. So even if you were saying, well, you hit that 50-minute mark, normally an SF and a Necrolite's going to be fantastic, you have to know that because they've been sitting in their base for the past 5 to 10 minutes, there's 5 to 10 minutes you have to push back these timings which LGD would have normally hit. They almost have to make this game go to 70 minutes, and that's only if they become active.
The farm Necrophos has is actually what you have if you have good farm on Necrophos. You have the gold he has at about sub-minute 20. So that's how far behind he is. And he's not taking the farm in the base. They're giving all of it to the Shadow Fiend.
It looks like Sylar, if they can give a little bit more to Sylar, he just missed the smoke. Ow, I hit my eye.
Did you hit yourself when face palming?
Yeah.
Nice. Good job.
They missed. This is their smoke to move out, and they only connected on 3 of their players. And they put their Observer and Sentry down, which means they can see that ward. And MMY is going to de-ward it, so now they know there's an Observer and a Sentry there. So the smoke, like, I always feel you should have just left it as the Observer and Sentry and not taken care of that Observer ward. Because now IG will come up and they'll get rid of it. They got all the money in the world. They got a gem over on Fate. That Observer and Sentry's not going to survive. And now we finally get what IG might have been waiting for, and that's Roshan. They walk in, this is the third one, so they'll take Aegis and Cheese, and they're good to go. They could at least force the fight.
There's the BKB and Necro. Right there, careful.
Woo, okay.
They don't know what's happening. They don't see any of LGD.
They're getting scared of their own shadows.
Oh, Ferrari wasn't there, to be fair. So that could have been a 4 and 5 if LGD were smoked, but they're actually just sitting inside their base and waiting. But since that ward they placed earlier and that they smoked out to place got counter-warded again and then placed again by LGD, they don't know what's happening.
Here we go. We got a little... This is our castle. This is our castle. They're in the castle.
Yeah. Alright, they're moving out. Shadow Fiend's in the lane. This is Roche. That's all IG needed to see. They just needed to be 100% certain that LGD weren't 5-man smoked and we're going to jump them.
It also helps the fact that Ferrari just triggered a DD rune, so they're going to be very quick about this. Surprisingly enough, they don't give
too
anything
late.
to Ferrari. They give it to Burning as well as Luo. The guy with the heart you give the Aegis the Immortal to.
Yeah, I think it's actually the best hero to give it to, because he will be the pusher. He's going to stand in the front lines and start hitting the tower, and he's going to force LGD to make a reaction, and the only reaction they have is a lasso into the tier 4s. But since he's so hard to kill the first time, he'll just tank up everything, go down, then when he comes up, he'll BKB and they'll take racks. And there is absolutely, like, we're reaching the point now where LGD actually have no play against this. Before it was ridiculously hard, now I'm going to say it's borderline impossible to do this. And that's what the last 10 minutes of farming have given them, is that they're 10,000 gold ahead, or 1,000 gold ahead per minute, pretty much. And their bristle is so... Just look, this is what's going to happen. They'll pull him in.
They drag for Luo.
They need to use everything for him. Then he has BKB.
There's a
not even enough.
And it's, no, they get the Aegis down. They got the Aegis down.
They used everything. Now they can't fight him.
Well, they've still got Requiem, they've still got Echo Slam, they've still got Death Ward. So, where's that position from Xiao Wei? Throws out the Fissure, slows down Luo. The mid-racks is slowly going down, yes, but you've already burnt the Aegis to the Immortal. You lost your mid-racks. But on the bright side, now you can stay inside your base and the creep wave will reach you.
The problem is that if IG play this right, they just take 2 lanes. Like, they just go top and do the same. There is no initiation on this bristle. They can't kill him. Because the only way they kill him is pulling him into the tier 4s like that. They can't do that again. So he's just going to be in the front lines doing exactly this, and then all of a sudden...
Finger. Okay. SF, he was the only man with a buyback for LGD. Actually, take that back. The Batrider has it as well. Sent up into towards the air by the Brewmaster ultimate. They have to bring down these towers and into the racks. They don't always just have to focus on the kills. Get control of the lanes. The Brewmaster ulti is being whittled away. They got rid of the Fire Brilliant, but there's still 2 more that's causing so many problems. LGD are being held at bay by 1 Master of Brew. Burning, unable to blink himself away, and there's good Echo Slam. They need more control. Requiem from maybe combining up with the Death Wall. The Requiem taking way too long to get out there, and the Lich ulti, most of it's been soaked up by the Dark Creep Wave. That's one upside for LGD, but they still haven't killed off Luo. They lose their Shadow Fiend. That's the dieback right there. Sylar is just basically gunked up completely by Ferrari, as well as Luo. That's going to be GG. IG will be able to advance themselves through. They come through the lower bracket, defeating the team that knocked them down in that winner's bracket semi-final, and they will be the team to go up against VG Gaming in the grand final up next. Do you have any remaining thoughts?
It's good to see the composure. It's good to see the composure of IG. VG Gaming, for me, is still the strongest team in China, so going up against them, they will be underdogs, and they're going to have to win 3 games out of 4. And that means you need really good composure, and you need to not throw away games in which you get the lead. Because the only way they win against VG Gaming is if either VG Gaming are really good at playing early game, right? So if they play a good early game, they have to be able to stay calm and collected and play from behind, or they get a really good early game, and then they need to not make a dumb mistake and throw it all away. And I think in both of IG's wins today, they were really patient, calm and collected, and played it solidly. It could have been faster than this. Like, they could have won 10 minutes ago, but then it would have been slightly more risky, right? And going up against VG Gaming, you take no risks. There's like no point if you're winning. So I hope for IG's chances in that matchup that they play like this in their next games and get a good early game, a solid draft where Ferrari can shine. Like, he was out of his mind this game. 21-10. And Burning's Brew also didn't die even, 4-0-25. So both of those really playing incredible Dota this game. And this is the kind of level of play you need to have to beat VG. And IG looked pretty good in their wins today, so I think they have a shot in the finals. They're still underdogs, though.
Well, we'll see if they're capable of achieving it. We're going to have ourselves a break in the meantime. You can run yourself, do multi-Twitch. Obviously, you don't want to turn this live stream off and miss out in the grand final, but Syndran's going to go over. You're streaming now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to switch over.
All right, so...
Do you have Blitz casting with you?
Yeah, Blitz is here.
Good.
I picked him up this morning.
Welcome to Germany. Welcome to Europe, Blitz.
Yeah, so we'll have Blitz here in the studio, so we'll get ourselves prepared for that one. You can follow Syndran at Syndran Dota over on Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of jazz, as well as over on his live stream on Twitch. And thanks for joining me, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Awesome.
Enjoy the finals.
I will. I hopefully will. All right, everyone stay tuned. Grand final time for the Chinese qualifier coming up. VG Gaming. They've been patiently waiting, and now they have their opponent. It will be Invictus Gaming, who will come out up on top with the gaming teams. We'll be back.